It was a cool morning, just like any other day, as I sat by the water's edge with my sketchbook, working on my drawing of the sunset like I normally did. When I finished this time, I looked at it and noticed something strange. The sun now had a man in it, young, handsome, and very powerful looking. Why did I draw you this time when I've never seen you before? I asked myself as I looked at it closer. It didn't make any sense to me. The details were too clear to be a coincidence, but when you're using a pen, you can't fix what you've already drawn. You just have to go with it. My name is Shara, by the way. I only just turned 14, and I'm going into high school this year. Lessons have been getting weirder by the year, almost like they're preparing us for something that could mean the difference between life and death. The last class I had, the instructor asked us if we knew why our world and everything around us was always blue. Like we were supposed to know the answer anyway. I spent the rest of my days here, drawing the sunset and looking out over the water until my escort came to get me, which should be right about. Shara, time to go. Right on time. I stood and brushed the dirt from my hands and dress. Mom hated when I came home dirty. It's not ladylike, she always told me. So I tried not to get on her bad side, but it was hard. My escort, Klein, looked at my drawing. He always did. Is that me? He asked. Then he shook his head before I could answer. I looked back at the drawing and the man in the sun. No, I'm not sure who he is or why I drew him today. I picked up my sketchbook and followed Klein back home. I'm kind of what you'd call a princess here, and I have to always look my best for the people. It's to keep the people happy, Mom always says. But I think it's just to keep up her image that she's this all-loving mother for everyone. Why? We don't live in that day and age anymore. At least everyone older than me has powers, and no one will explain them to me. My dress swayed with each step, catching glances from all the men we passed on the way home. I never looked back at any of them. None of them had ever managed to catch my attention in all the years this had been happening. Mom, I'm home, I called as I walked inside with Klein. He immediately bowed to her. No troubles on the way back today. My mother, Queen Amber, simply nodded and dismissed him. Once we were alone, she looked at me. You know I don't like you being out like that, my daughter. She never called me by my name, just like she never tucked me in at night, even when I was little, like a mother should. Will I ever know a mother's touch from her? Probably not. I'll just head to my room and get ready for bed. She nodded, and I left. I'd walked this hallway so many times, I could probably do it with my eyes closed. When I opened my door, I stopped. The walls were bare. Again. The drawings I had hung up were gone. All of them. My mother must have come in while I was gone, just like she always did. Always. I can't have anything in here with her. I hid my sketchbook under my pillow like always, changed into my night clothes, climbed into bed, and closed my eyes as the last light of day faded away. Soon I was dreaming. But it wasn't the type of dream I was used to. I found myself standing on another planet, one I had never seen before. Red buildings surrounded me in every direction. I wasn't sure why, but I was looking for something, or someone. I made my way toward one of the buildings. Then suddenly everything shifted. The red city disappeared. Now I was standing in a blue room. A woman's voice called out from somewhere nearby, though I couldn't see her. So my crystal chose you, I see. I turned in circles, trying to find where the voice was coming from. Who are you? I asked. But her only response was, find me, and then you shall know a mother's touch. Do not speak of this to anyone, for your life will be in danger if you do, and not from me. The moment she finished speaking, I bolted awake. The sun was just beginning to rise. Her words echoed in my mind. A mother's touch. I sat there for several moments before finally standing. I have to tell Mother that someone just threatened me. I quickly dressed like a proper lady before making my way toward my mother's chambers. Little did I know, my life would never be the same after this conversation. I knocked twice and waited. Enter, Shara. I stepped inside and lowered my head respectfully before looking up at her. What is it that you need? Another hug for a nightmare you had again? I shook my head. No, I just thought you should know that someone I couldn't see threatened me in my sleep last night. She turned faster than I had ever seen before. There was no grace in the movement, only a cold stare. What was said exactly? I gulped. The tone in her voice was like ice, like someone was about to die. Before I could lose my nerve, I explained everything. She said to find her and that if I told anyone, my life would be in danger. When I finished, my mother relaxed slightly, but the icy look remained in her eyes. It was enough to make me take a step backward, something I had never done before. "You may go," she said. "Send Klein in when you leave." I nodded and quickly left the room. Something was wrong. Very wrong. But I did as I was told. The rest of the day proceeded like normal, at least on the surface, yet everything felt different. When I arrived at school, no one would look at me. Not my classmates, not my teachers, not even the students I passed in the hallways. Every time I approached someone, they suddenly found a reason to look away. Conversations stopped when I entered rooms. Whispers followed behind me. Fear lingered in the air wherever I went. By lunchtime, I was completely alone. I sat at my usual table, staring down at my food while everyone else gathered as far away from me as possible. No one would explain why. No one would even meet my eyes. The dream. It had to be because of the dream. But how? I had only told Mother. A chill ran down my spine. For the first time in my life, I began to wonder if the warning had never been meant for me. Maybe it had been meant for everyone else. And if that was true, then who exactly was the woman in the blue room? And why had Queen Amber looked terrified when she heard her message?